Our world has a funny way of looking at things. Sometimes when people see an older man who likes to stay at home, they start to worry. They see him sitting on his porch or staying in his favorite chair, and they think something is wrong. They see a quiet life, and they call it being lonely. They notice that he doesn't go to every party anymore. He doesn't show up at every big dinner or every noisy event in town. Because of this, they think that getting older has taken away his joy. Friends might call him and say, "You really need to get out more." Family members might whisper to each other because they are scared he is shutting himself away from the world. But what if all those people have it completely wrong? What if they are missing the real story? The truth is actually much more beautiful than most people think. Many men over the age of 60 don't stay home because they have given up. They aren't hiding from life. They stay home because they have finally figured out what makes life feel good and meaningful. After many years of working hard, trying to do what everyone else wanted, fixing everyone's problems, and trying to show the world how strong they were, something inside them begins to change. The things they care about shift. The loud noises that used to feel exciting now just feel like they are draining his batteries. The peace and quiet that he used to ignore now feels like a warm blanket. This change isn't about being scared. It isn't about being sad or depressed. And it definitely isn't about losing the spark of life. It is simply about reaching a time in life where being calm is much more fun than being busy. When a man gets older, he starts to care more about how good a moment is, rather than how many moments he can pack into a day. He cares more about things that are real and deep, rather than things that just look good on the outside. What looks like he is pulling away from life is actually him finding a new kind of freedom. Before we go any further, I want to ask you to please join our growing community by subscribing to this channel. We are working hard to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support means the world to us. Every subscription helps us continue creating content that speaks to the hearts of men who are navigating this beautiful stage of life. If you find value in what we share today, please hit that subscribe button and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. In our talk today, we are going to look at the hidden reasons why so many men over 60 truly love staying at home. We will look at 7 special reasons that explain this change in their hearts. We will see why what looks like being alone is actually a sign that a man is very healthy and happy on the inside. Do you find that you love your home more now than you did when you were younger? Let's explore these ideas together. The first thing we need to understand is something that almost everyone gets wrong. There is a huge difference between being by yourself and being lonely. Most people talk about these two things as if they are the same, but they are very different. An older man who likes to spend time by himself isn't cut off from the world. Most of the time, he is just finally comfortable with who he is. He has spent years working, failing, winning, raising kids, and dealing with hard times that nobody else knows about. After all of that, he reaches a place where silence doesn't feel scary or weird. Instead, it feels like home. Think about how younger men act. They are always busy. If they aren't at work, they are looking at their phones. If they aren't on their phones, they are looking for a party, a meeting, or some noise to fill the air. For many people, being alone with their own thoughts feels bad. It forces them to look at feelings they have been trying to run away from for years. But something amazing happens to many older men. Life teaches them things that you can't find in a book. They start to make peace with the things they did wrong in the past. They stop thinking over and over about their mistakes. They learn to forgive themselves for the times they missed out on something or the choices they wish they could take back. Slowly, the noise inside their heads starts to get quiet. That is why sitting in a peaceful house doesn't feel empty to them. It feels like they are recharging. People on the outside think this quiet life is sad because they can't imagine liking their own company. They are just afraid of the silence, so they think the older man must be afraid too. But he isn't running away. He is enjoying this special gift of not needing loud noise to feel like a whole person. This is a level of self-acceptance that takes decades to achieve, and it is something to be celebrated rather than worried about. There is another big reason why so many older men find so much comfort at home. It isn't because they have stopped liking people. It is because they have become very careful about how they spend their energy. When you are a young man, you feel like you have to say yes to every invitation. You go to parties you don't even like. You spend hours talking about things that don't matter. You stay in friendships that make you feel tired because you think that is what a good guy does. For years, many men keep showing up just because they feel they have to. But eventually, a man realizes that his time is not like a bottomless well. Every afternoon and every weekend is a treasure. He stops counting how many places he goes and starts counting how peaceful he feels at the end of the day. This change makes everything different. Loud places aren't fun anymore. Talking about nothing feels like a lot of work. Gossip and drama just aren't worth the trouble. He isn't pushing people away because he is mean. He is just choosing not to spend his years on things that don't add love or peace to his life. His home is the place where he doesn't have to pretend. He doesn't have to wear a mask. He doesn't have to impress anyone or act like a big shot. He can just read a book, work in his garden, listen to his favorite songs, or sit in total silence. He doesn't feel like he should be anywhere else. People might think he is hiding, but he is actually just getting rid of the noise so he can focus on what is truly important. He is choosing peace, and that is one of the best feelings a man can have. The selective approach to relationships and activities isn't antisocial behavior. It is wisdom in action. Another reason that people rarely think about is that home is the one place where a man doesn't have to perform. For almost all of his life, a man is told he has to play a part. At his job, he has to be the one everyone can count on. With his friends, he has to look like he is strong and sure of himself. In his family, he is usually the one who has to fix the broken things and stay calm when things go wrong. Even if nobody says it, the world is always asking him to prove that he is useful. That kind of pressure stays with a man for a long time. But then things change. He retires. The kids grow up and move out. He doesn't have to climb a ladder at work anymore. And then something wonderful happens. For the first time in a very long time, he doesn't have to wake up and try to be what everyone else expects him to be. His home becomes a place where his title doesn't matter. Inside those walls, nobody cares how much money he made or what his job was. He doesn't have to compete, he can just exist. This is a very powerful kind of freedom. Some people think that staying home means a man has lost his drive, but really he has just reached a point where he knows his worth doesn't come from how much he gets done. He knows he is valuable just because of who he is. So when he stays home instead of going to a big event, he is being his real self. He is taking off the heavy armor he wore for years, and that feels better than any trophy or award. The relief of not having to prove himself day after day is something younger people cannot fully appreciate until they experience it themselves. The next reason men love staying home is that it gives them something the world outside usually takes away, which is the chance to really think. When you are young, life moves so fast. You are busy with work, paying the bills, and taking the kids to school. Days turn into weeks, and weeks turn into years. You move from one job to the next without ever stopping to ask yourself the big questions. As a man gets older, that rush starts to slow down. Staying home gives him the quiet he needs to look back on his life's journey. He thinks about the choices that made him who he is today. He thinks about the hard times that taught him how to be strong. He thinks about the happy moments he wishes he had slowed down to enjoy more. He isn't living in the past, he is just making peace with it. Without the noise of traffic and busy schedules, his mind can finally breathe. In that quiet, many men find a kind of clear thinking they never had when they were busy. They start to see what really mattered and what was just a waste of time. Their home isn't just a building anymore. It becomes a place where they grow wiser. The quiet isn't empty. It is full of thoughts that finally have room to land. What looks like doing nothing is actually one of the most important things a man can do. This contemplative time allows him to process his experiences, understand the patterns of his life, and gain insights that only come through reflection. The house becomes a sanctuary for the mind as much as for the body. One reason that people often miss is that home gives a man the chance to be creative again. When a man is working, all of his brain power goes to his job and his family. He solves problems for his boss and spends all his time helping other people reach their goals. By the time he gets home, he is too tired to do anything he actually loves. When he is older, his time finally belongs to him again. Suddenly, he can spend all day in his workshop building a birdhouse. He can spend hours in the garden growing the perfect tomato. He can read history books, write down his life stories, or learn how to fix an old clock. To someone walking by, these look like small hobbies. They might think he is just trying to kill time. But they are wrong. These moments are his way of being free. He isn't making things to get a promotion or a paycheck. He isn't looking for someone to clap for him. He does it because the act of making something feels good. Every little project reminds him that life isn't just about being a machine that produces things. It is about being curious. It is about the joy of using your own hands. His home becomes a place where his imagination can run wild without any bosses or deadlines. He is finally using his skills for himself. And that brings a very deep kind of happiness that the outside world can't give him. Whether he is painting, woodworking, writing, or tending to plants, these creative pursuits reconnect him with parts of himself that were buried under years of responsibility. The home transforms into a studio, a laboratory, a workshop where the only deadline is the one he sets for himself. Another reason that becomes very important as we get older is that home is the place where a man has total control. The moment you step outside your front door, you lose control. You have to deal with traffic jams. You have to deal with loud stores and long lines. You have to deal with people who might be in a bad mood and take it out on you. Even a quick trip to the store can make you feel tired because of all the things you can't change. After living in that wild world for 50 or 60 years, a man starts to love the steady peace of his own home. Inside his house, he is the boss. He picks when he wakes up, he picks the music, he picks if he wants it to be silent or if he wants to watch his favorite show. He can have a slow morning with a cup of coffee and look out the window without anyone rushing him. Most importantly, he gets to decide who is allowed to come into his peace. As men get older, they want to protect their feelings more. They don't want to deal with drama or people who complain all the time. Their home is a place where they keep the calm in and the stress out. This isn't about being a hermit or hating people. It is about knowing that peace is a treasure. A man knows he only has so much energy left, and he wants to save it for the people and things that make his life better. His home lets him create a world that matches what he cares about. It is where his body and mind can truly rest, safe from the busy world outside. The ability to control his environment becomes increasingly precious as he recognizes how limited and valuable his remaining time truly is. The last reason is the one that most people fail to understand. These men have learned the secret difference between being lonely and being in solitude. People use these words like they mean the same thing, but they are polar opposites. Loneliness is that sad feeling you get when you feel like nobody knows you, even if you are in a room full of people. Many of us have felt that way at a big party or a busy office. Solitude is the happy choice to be by yourself because you like who you are. An older man knows that just being around people doesn't make you happy. What matters is if you have a real connection with someone. If he doesn't have that in a certain place, he would rather be at home. He doesn't fear a quiet house anymore. To him, the silence isn't a hole that needs to be filled with noise. It is something to be enjoyed. His home is his safe spot where he can think, follow his own routine, and feel good without needing someone else to tell him he is doing a good job. His happiness doesn't depend on getting invited to things or having a busy calendar. This is a kind of freedom that people who are afraid of being alone just can't see. They think he is lonely because they would be lonely, but they are looking at his life through their own fears. The truth is, he stays home because he found out that peace starts inside his own heart. Once you are friends with yourself, you don't need the world to be loud for your life to have meaning. This profound understanding separates those who have truly matured from those who are still seeking external validation. By now, you can see that everything we have talked about leads to one big truth. An older man who likes staying home isn't making his world smaller, he is making it better. When he was young, he had to keep moving. He had to build a career, pay for a house, and take care of everyone. His time belonged to everyone but him. But now, he knows that time is the most precious thing he has. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Every hour he spends on a fake conversation or a stressful event is an hour he can never get back. This realization changes how he lives. He doesn't ask, how can I be busier? He asks, what is worth my time? He picks one good conversation over 100 meaningless ones. He picks a quiet afternoon over a busy trip. He finds out that you don't always get more out of life by doing more. Sometimes you get more out of life by doing less and doing it on purpose. Our society loves to see people being busy. We think being busy means you are successful. But an older man knows that isn't true. He knows that a busy schedule doesn't mean you have a happy heart. So when he stays home, he isn't missing out on life. He is living it exactly how he wants to. He doesn't need to impress anyone anymore. His greatest prize is peace, and he is going to protect that prize every single day. It is important to remember that every man is different. Some older men still love to travel the world. Some love to see their friends every single night. Some love to volunteer or go to every local event. There is no right way to get older. But for a lot of men, home becomes something very special. It becomes the place where they have earned the right to live life by their own rules. After years of work, pressure, and doing what they were told, they finally find out that happiness isn't about always doing more. It is about protecting the quiet they worked their whole lives to find. They don't have to prove anything anymore. They know that a good life isn't measured by how many times you leave your front door. It is measured by how much peace you feel when you are inside. So, if you see an older man who loves the quiet of his home, don't feel bad for him. He might have found exactly what everyone else is still searching for. He has found a life without noise, without pressure, and without having to be someone he isn't. His house isn't just a building, it is his sanctuary. It is the place where he can finally be himself. If you are a man who has found this kind of joy at home, please share your story with us in the comments below. Your words might help another man feel okay about choosing peace over pressure. If you enjoyed our talk today, please think about subscribing to our channel and helping us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Your subscription means more than just a number to us. It means you are part of a community that values wisdom, peace, and authentic living. It means you believe in the message we are sharing, and that together we can change how society views this beautiful stage of life. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss our content, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Thank you for spending your time with us today. Until we talk again, take care of your peace, value your time, and remember that there is great strength in being happy in your own home with yourself. The journey to true contentment often leads us right back to where we started, to the simple joy of being at home, but with eyes that finally see its value. We appreciate every single one of you who watches, comments, and subscribes. Together, we are building something meaningful, a place where men can find encouragement, understanding, and the permission to live life on their own terms. See you in the next one.